welcome back to A Moment with Hales. We are in our Technocracy loading series, episode 2, and today we're going to be talking about cognitive liberty. We all know with technology and the internet and data and our information, there's been a growing concern regarding privacy. And we all have said it before, they're tracking us anyways, they already have our information, why does it really matter? And honestly, given how much of an uphill battle it really is in regards to our data and information and technology and the need of technology to live in everyday society, we can really just feel like it's an uphill battle. It's not worth fighting anymore. And really, as we've all collectively probably said once or twice, I have nothing to hide. Who cares if they have my information? But here's the thing. While that might be true on the surface, it's not so much about what you're binge watching on Netflix or what you're scrolling through on TikTok, what you're purchasing at the grocery store, what your Starbucks order is. This technology that we're dealing with is far more powerful and way more superior than we really truly understand. It's evolving into something that I would say is even potentially dangerous. It's not so much about your data and information. It's evolving into a battle for your mind, your body, and your thoughts. The desire to hack and control objects has now evolved into understanding who we are, how we think, how we make decisions, influencing our decisions, even planting memories, and understanding how humans utilize the brain. This is where things get very interesting. And don't just take my word for it. Let's hear what Yuval Noah Harari has to say about this topic. Well-known author, philosopher, and contributor to the World Economic Forum.
But some governments and corporations, for the first time in history, have the power to basically hack human beings. There is a lot of talk about hacking computers, hacking smartphones, hacking bank accounts, but the big story of our era is the ability to hack human beings. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible. And in such a situation, the old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. We need to come to terms with the fact that, this is where philosophy meets computer science and biology.
After listening to that, it is a little jarring and shocking, the idea that free will is over and that humans can be hackable animals. Definitely something to consider and think about. As I said, Harari has spoken at the World Economic Forum. He's a speaker and contributor to the organization. The World Economic Forum is an international organization located in Switzerland, and it was founded in 1971. It has the aim to improve the state of the world by engaging in business, political, academic, and other leaders to shape global, regional, and industry agents through public and private corporations. The World Economic Forum is made up of a lot of influential and wealthy individuals. This includes the president of the World Bank, the current chairman and chief executive officer of BlackRock, which BlackRock is a money management firm and it's trusted to manage more money than any other investment firm in the entire world. Also includes Al Gore and many other people. You can go to their website and view it. Very influential people who have a lot of power and connections. The point I'm trying to get across to you is this isn't a small scale organization. This is a large organization with many influential and powerful people. They also offer a forum of young global leaders. This community of leaders they're under 40 and they're selected by the World Economic Forum to participate in a 3-year leadership development program. And you'll probably recognize some of their graduates. Mark Zuckerberg, who is the founder of Facebook or Meta, Jimmy Wales, the co-founder of Wikipedia, Pete Buttigieg, who was a politician or still is, and Maria Bartiromo, who is a Fox News host. And you can again go to their website and see the graduates that came through their organization as well. In 2016, the World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab noticed that there was a new convergence coming forth with technology and humanity, and that it had great potential to reshape the society that was emerging. He coined this term the Fourth Industrial Revolution. So what is the Fourth Industrial Revolution? Well, the World Economic Forum website puts it like this. It's characterized by a fusion of technologies that is blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. In 2016, the World Economic Forum created a video to give people information on what the Fourth Industrial Revolution would look like. So let's take a listen.
We are wondering what is happening to the world. Everything is changing.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change.
Our bodies will be so high-tech, we won't be able to really distinguish between what's natural and what's artificial.
Inside our own heads is the most complex arrangement of matter in the known universe.
You might ask yourself, can we get to be superhumans?
The original Industrial Revolution was driven by the discovery that you could use steam engines to do all kinds of interesting things.
But that was followed by additional revolutions for electricity and computers and communications technology. We're now in the early stages of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is bringing together digital, physical, and biological systems.
One of the features of this Fourth Industrial Revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
With the ability to visualize brain activity, for example, through a simple consumer-based EEG device, it gives us access to ourselves in ways that we've never before thought possible. It unlocks the black box that is the brain and enables us to really, truly be able to realize an identity that is aspirational.
I'll link the rest of the video below if you'd like to watch it, but a couple things that stuck out to me in this video was the first part where Klaus Schwab says the Fourth Industrial Revolution, it doesn't change what we are doing, it changes us. And then another person mentioned that we need to unlock the black box of the brain. So there's definitely a part of the Fourth Industrial Revolution that does require access to the brain or to the mind and how the mind really works, and how humans can make decisions and influence the way humans make decisions in regards of converging with technology, which is super interesting. The video continues. It talks about technology developments and how they'll be helpful, of course, in regards to healthcare, cancer research, economic impact, environment, all these things that the technology is going to help basically build a better planet. The convergence of humans and tech will create a better society and a better world for everybody is the message that we have for the Fourth Industrial Revolution. But no matter the utopia painted here, personally, I cannot overlook the fact that there needs to be access to the brain, or even that there's a desire to have access to the brain. It just makes me have pause, because with that comes the question of, is it voluntary access to the brain? Is it going to be required access to the brain? There just seems like there's some sort of autonomy that's going to be lost, or individuality that's going to be lost if we're trying to actually access people's thoughts. It just definitely makes me want to take a step back and kind of research and understand this a little bit more before we're all excited about merging humans and technology. The one part of this video that really struck me, I'm going to show you, is a woman speaking. Her name is Nita Fairhoney, and she's featured in this part of this video. You saw her earlier too. And she's talking about the need of freedom of thought. And when they can access people's thoughts, there still needs to be a safe space for people, just like to have freedom of speech, have freedom of thought. And she is an author, she's a professor and a scholar on the ramifications of new technology on society, law, and ethics. I just want you to hear what she has to say in the Fourth Industrial Revolution video.
One of the things that I think is so essential to free and open societies is freedom of thought. And up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotion, we have to create a space that enables people to think freely, to think divergent thoughts, to think creative thoughts. And in a society where people fear having those thoughts, the likelihood of being able to enjoy progress is significantly diminished.
And I do agree. She's not wrong. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom in general is essential to a healthy society and healthy citizens and capable citizens and responsible citizens. And the idea that the conversation is changing with the amount of technology we have, progressing into a way that's literally bringing up the conversation of freedom of thought or cognitive liberty or mental privacy or thought privacy is wild. And I know it sounds dystopian and crazy, but there is conversations that are being had in regards to this because of the type of technology that's out there. And I am not a scholar on this topic, so I'm gonna let Nita Fairhoney talk a little bit more about what technology is out there. This video is from a year ago. She's talking about her book, which I did buy and I'm gonna read. And she talks about what has been progressing in society as far as technology and neurotechnology, and it's crazy.
I'm Nita Fairhoney, Robinson O. Everett Professor of Law and Philosophy at Duke University, where I also direct the Duke Initiative for Science and Society. I'm also the author of the new book, The Battle for Your Brain, Defending the Right to Think Freely in the Age of Neurotechnology. It was 2018 that was the trigger for me to write this book. I was attending a conference at the University of Pennsylvania held by Wharton, where I saw a presentation by a person by the name of Josh Duyan, who was then working at a company called Control Labs. He was showcasing a new device that they were developing that enabled people to be able to interact with their other technology with their thoughts alone. With advances in artificial intelligence, this is rapidly becoming an era in which even our brains will become increasingly transparent, not only to ourselves, but to corporations and governments as well. In fact, it's already begun. Companies from Meta to Microsoft, even Snap and Apple, have either invested or acquired major neurotechnology companies to start to embed brain sensors into our everyday devices. From watches to earbuds to headphones, many of these products have already started to be marketed and increasingly will be so over the next couple of years. This book describes the extraordinary advances in these fields and the ways in which they're already being used in workplaces worldwide to enable greater surveillance of employees, to understand whether they're fatigued or paying attention at work, to create fields of cognitive ergonomics where AI, robotics, and humans are interacting based on our own brainwave activity and how we respond to different information. How governments have already started to interrogate criminal suspects using neurotechnology and what their brains reveal about what and where they were on the night of a crime. Also, the extraordinary promises, like the ability to detect an epileptic seizure minutes to up to an hour before it occurs, the ability to see and know our own biases, to track our brain health over time, to potentially normalize brain health and wellness in the same way that we have our physical health and the rest of our physical well-being. I believe that we stand at a fork in the road where we could either go the direction of using this technology in ways that could be incredibly empowering for humans or become incredibly dystopian, because the risks of misuse, the risks of loss to our last bastion of freedom, our mental privacy, has profound implications for what it means to be human. Because of that, the book also is a call to action to recognize what I call a right to cognitive liberty, a right to self-determination over our brains and mental experiences. Through bioethical dilemmas, chapter by chapter, I both talk about these extraordinary advances and what they mean in each of these different contexts, but also the rights we need to secure self-determination over our brains and mental experiences. Rights like a positive right to be able to have informational self-access about our own brains, to rights against interference with our mental privacy and freedom of thought. and how we need to move forward as a society in order to recognize those. This idea of cognitive liberty is an umbrella concept, an update to our concept of liberty in the digital age, the rights I believe we need to be able to flourish as technologies continue to be able to access, hack, and track the human brain.
And that video definitely gives us a lot to think about and marinate over. I don't understand all of it, so that's why I did get the book, because I do want to understand if there are people out there who desire to have neurotechnology to access our minds and our brains. I want to know about it, and I want to be prepared to understand it before I opt into anything that I don't understand. And this is also Nita Fairhoney. She's speaking about memories, and this video is from a few years ago. I don't have the exact date, but take a listen to what she has to say about memories.
Having seen that person commit the crime, even though that person's utterly innocent, that it becomes a planted memory. And so there's some really interesting research that we can plant false memories in the brain. And in a different context, one of the emerging areas that's really interesting in law neuroscience is pain detection. And once we understand the circuitries that cause pain, I guess the question is, could we then instill pain and use that in many coercive measures in the legal system as well? So.
Wow, that's amazing.
And as I was researching this topic, this just came to me. I was not looking for it, but I was scrolling on Telegram and some videos popped up and I was like, I can't believe this is what's being shown to me. I swear something's reading my mind already. It's crazy. But going back to my coffee and conspiracy episode, in regards to propaganda, there's definitely something going on in the entertainment industry in regards to propaganda with neurotechnology. I've seen 2 different TV series coming out regarding accessing your brain or altering your brain or doing weird things to your brain. The first one is called Severance, and it says Severance is a psychological thriller about employees at Lumen Industries who undergo a procedure to surgically separate their work and personal lives, exploring the themes of a work-life balance, corporate control, and the human condition. So I'm going to put a preview for it here so you can see the propaganda in regards to altering our minds with corporations.
Hello, my name is Mark S., and I have, of my own free accord, elected to undergo the procedure known as severance. I give consent to sever my memories between my work life and my personal life. I acknowledge that once the procedure is complete, I will be unable to access my personal memories whilst on the severed floor.
Say gratitude.
Nor will I retain work memories.
Hey!
Sorry, when I return home at the end of the day. I make these statements freely.
The second entertainment series, I think it's a Netflix original. I will play it here. I don't remember the name of it, but it came on when I was scrolling on something and I could not believe that this is what I saw after I was researching the cognitive liberty information. So I'm gonna put this here, again, just showing propaganda in regards to using our minds through corporate control or neurotechnology, tapping into that and what our minds can actually do. So go ahead and take a listen.
We'd like to welcome you back.
Ready?
Yeah. 3, 2...
And action.
They call it mind expanding. It alters your neuronal structure. The mind is a computer. Suddenly, we're not just more receptive. You become a receiver.
Sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do.
I just want something magical, timeless.
Come with me.
We'll all be cyborgs before long.
Yeah.
Just remember that they're AIs. To them, this is real.
Ready?
I'm ready.
And it does feel like we got a little off course from Technocracy today, but in wrapping all of this together, I do want to bring it back to the main topic of Technocracy. And in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, there is a man named Stuart Wells, I think is how you say his name. He is the chair for the Wellbeing Economy Alliance, which is an initiative to create a global new economy movement. So let's take a listen to what he has to say in regards to a new economy movement. And if you have been watching the Technocracy episodes, just really start listening for those buzzwords that we've been talking about in regards to Technocracy.
We need a different economic model. And by that I don't mean capitalism versus communism. What I'm talking about is a shift in the system along the lines of the two big changes that happened in the 20th century, Keynesianism, with a much greater focus on health and education and the role of government working with business, and then a reaction against that in late century to neoliberalism, where the focus was on free markets, freedom of the individual, and getting governments out of the way. We need a shift to a new system that will allow us to meet the basic needs of every human on the planet, that will live within planetary means, that will be fairer, and that will be focused as its key goal, not on growth per se, but on maximizing human well-being.
The reason we live in cities is not different today than it was 10,000 years ago. Even if we have got networks connecting us, we still want to have places where we meet in person. So this means the place where we work and the place where we live are much closer to each other, a city where we don't need to have big supply chains in order to produce things, where many things can be sourced locally thanks to 3D printing and robotics. So if we're able to do something to transform cities, to make them more efficient, then the impact can be huge.
And right at the end there, the gentleman who's speaking goes right into efficiency. And it sounds to me like he's talking about 15-minute cities or smart cities. He doesn't specifically say that, but it sounds like that concept or idea that everything is right there, everything you need to be sustainable and have a good economy and live a great life are all available to you in a really small circle or city. And going back to Stuart Wells, he talks about shifting to a new system that meets the basic needs of everyone on the planet, that the focus isn't so much on growth, but maximizing human well-being. And just taking a page right out of the Technocracy study guide, as we've talked about, and I'll have it linked below, and I have it linked in several other episodes. This is what from the Technocrats, what Technocracy is. Technocracy is the science of social engineering, the scientific operation of the entire social mechanism to produce and distribute goods and services to the entire population of this continent. For the first time in human history, it will be done as a scientific, technical engineering problem. There will be no place for politics, politicians, finances, financiers, rackets, or racketeers. So again, the Technocrats had this idea that it was going to be a brand new system merged with science and technology. And you can't tell me that it's not in the Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's right there. It's right in front of us. I just think it's all coming together. And the more I've been researching just how many pieces are coming together in Technocracy as 2025 goes on. So friends, is it a conspiracy that global organizations are working towards neurotechnology that will access our thoughts? Could humans become programmable and hackable in the not so far future? And is this just another puzzle piece of Technocracy coming to real life? Well, I'll let you do your research and decide, or you can watch my next episode in Technocracy Loading. Thanks for watching today, friends. I'll be talking to you soon.